It is so good to see you again. I hope that you are surviving lockdown, that you are getting into that schoolwork, that you're not driving your parents and siblings too crazy. Although I understand if you are and if you've lost a bit of sanity. Fully understandable. Now, just to kick off with, we have loved receiving messages from you and videos from you. It's been so cool to hear from you and see what you've been up to. Now, for today, I have a very simple challenge for you to kick off our service. So basically, I've been trying this with my family, and so far I'm in the lead, although some might beg to differ, but I'm going to put myself in the lead because no one can argue with me right now. And it's called the pop. Okay, so you basically need to put your finger in your mouth like this and make a popping noise. And the goal is to get the pop as loud as you can. Okay, so just take your little pointer finger, pop it in a cheek, and pop. Got that? Okay, so I'm going to challenge you with your parents and your siblings or whoever you're staying with to see who can make the loudest pop. All right, and then let me know who is reigning champion in your household. All right, with that said, let's stand to our feet. You're all up, you got some space. Move the couches aside, move what you're gonna move aside, because we're gonna worship. It's gonna get real. We're gonna worship our King because, I mean, we were created to do that, which is amazing. So just shake it out, reach up, oh, touch your toes. Keith can't do this, but watch, touch your toes. Okay, there we go, and just jump around. Okay, one leg up, this is very important. Okay, you got that, you got that. You wanna just, you can take it to the side a little bit. There we go, bring it back. Other leg, put it to the side. Can you do that? Wah! Okay, are you warm? Are you ready? Let's worship.
Shout your name, 'cause you never change. You're always the same, and you will never let me go. You're always in control. Heaven is our home. All praise to you. Worthy is your name. All praise to you. Forever you will reign. All praise to you. You are my God and King. All praise to you. You make me wanna say, whoa, oh, oh, whoa, oh, whoa, You gave your life for me. Open my eyes to see your majesty. You took my sin away, gave me a brand new day. I wanna bring you fame. All praise to you. Worthy is your name. All praise to you. Forever you will reign. All praise to you. You are my God and King. All praise to you. You make me wanna say, whoa, oh, oh, whoa, now my chains have been broken off of me. Jesus, your love has set me free. I give you all of my heart, and you give me a brand new start. Now my chains have been broken off of me. Jesus, your love give you all of my heart, and you give me a brand new start. All praise to you. Worthy is your name. All praise to you. Forever you will reign. All praise to you. You are my God and King. All praise to you. You make me wanna say, whoa, oh, oh, whoa, oh, whoa, oh,
We are a generation chosen by you. Out of the ashes risen just to praise you. We are a generation burning for you. We are a people desperate just to know you. When we were dead, you called us out, 'cause we are more than this. I'm alive in you. I'm alive. I'm alive in you. I'm alive.
going to kick off today with a few simple challenges. Okay, so if you're sitting, I need you to stand back onto your feet quickly, and we're going to have some fun. So now, not all these challenges will apply to you, but you'll understand in a little bit. So just listen up. I'm going to give you some instructions to do, but this is the deal. You can only do these using one hand. Got that? I don't mind if it's your right hand, your left hand, your strong hand, your weak hand, one hand. And we're going to see if we can complete these challenges using one hand. So the first thing I need you to do, this might apply mainly to the girls, although maybe after lockdown the boys can do this too, because hairdressers haven't been available to us. I need you to tie a ponytail in your hair using one hand. You have 10 seconds, go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, did anyone get that? It's ponytail in your hair with one hand. Usually 10 seconds would be plenty time, but I feel like you might not have successfully completed that challenge. All right, next thing. Now, if you are wearing shoes with laces, which is probably highly unlikely because I don't think you've worn shoes for a very long time since you're just at home. I know I've been living barefoot, which is amazing. But I want you to try, if you can find a pair of shoes nearby, quickly just get a pair of shoes with laces, and I want you to try and tie your shoelaces using one hand. I'm gonna give you 10 seconds. If you can do this, you are incredible, to say the least. You ready? You got that shoe? 3, 2, 1, let's go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop. Okay, now, like I said, if you manage to do that, you are insane and one of the few in the world. Alrighty? Okay, third challenge. Now, this is going to be exciting, but just make sure you have space, okay? So move the coffee table out the way and make sure the TV is far out of reach, okay? I need you to do a handstand with one hand, okay? You're going to go for it. You got 10 seconds to see if you can get that right. In 3, 2, 1, a one-handed handstand. Let's go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I trust that your parents' house is still in one piece after that and your foot didn't get chopped off by a fan or something crazy. Anyone get that right? I'm sure there were a few of you out there who are like gymnasts or crazy people who got that one right. Okay, last challenge. Okay, I want to see if anyone can do this. One hand only. I need you to give somebody a high 10. Oh, that's going to be close to impossible. So I'm not even going to go through that because that does not count. That's just like a 5 squared. High 10 ain't going to happen with one hand. Now, I want you to keep this in mind as I go through the next little bit of this lesson. Alrighty, so today we are learning about the church, which is very, very exciting. So let's just start from the beginning in terms of the church, and let's just ask, what is the church? I mean, I think that's a good enough question. What is the church? Especially over this lockdown period, this is quite a thing. Like, what is the church? And this is the exciting answer. We are the church. You see, guys, the church is not a building. It's not a meeting or a specific service. It's not even a meeting place. Maybe people meet under a tree or in a school. Or that's not the church. When we're saying we're going to church, we're not saying we're going to a building. We're saying we're going to the people who love Jesus, and we're going to fellowship. We're going to be and worship God together. And so the coolest thing about the fact that we are the church means that even during lockdown, the church can be stronger than ever because we don't need a Sunday meeting to continue being the church. So the church is us, God's children. Everyone who chooses to believe in Jesus is the church. Crazy, right? But how exciting, and what a sign of relief, actually. So this is the thing, the world needs the church. Right? Everyone around us, they need the church, which means they need us. And the Bible tells us, all right, that the church is actually called the body of Christ. So we are the body of Christ. Christ is the head. We're his body, and we're the ones who God uses to get out into the world and share the gospel with those who need it. We're like the hands and the feet and the legs and the arms, and each one of us has a different part to play. You might be the hand or the foot, but that does not mean that you're not important. Every single part of the body, and your part of the body, is super important. So think back to that challenge, okay? Doing those things with one hand was really tricky, but if you had both hands, it would have been super simple. Okay, maybe not the handstand, but everything else would have been super simple. And in the same way, the church, that's us and our fellow Christians, our fellow children of God. We need each other if we're going to be the most effective tool in this world to see the lost saved. All right, so that is exciting news that the church cannot be stopped by lockdown, because we don't need to meet in a building to continue being the church. So throughout today, we're going to be learning more about what the church is and what that means for us as the church. So stay tuned and listen up. We're going to kick off with our memory verse, so have fun.
Hey everyone, Andile here, and I am super excited to show you today's memory verse. It comes from Colossians 4 verse 5. It reads, "Walk in wisdom towards outsiders, making the best use of this time." I'm sure you can all agree with me that the times that we live in are crazy times. Life is full of uncertainty and we don't know what will happen next. But what's amazing is God has still called us to make the best use of this time. We are still called to share the gospel and to show the love of Jesus to others, even though it may look a little bit different than usual. Now, today's memory verse is a lot of fun, so I want you to shake it out, warm up, shake the fingers like that, shake the arms, shake everything, get loose. Come on, get loose. Here we go. You guys ready? Awesome. The verse goes like this. Walk, put your hands in fists like this, like you're going to walk fast. Walk in wisdom, point your fingers to your head like that. Towards outsiders, push your arms out like that. Making, pretend like you're making something in the kitchen. Making the best, 2 thumbs up, use of this time. Tap your wrist like that. The verse comes from Colossians 4 verse 5. Just like that. Okay, you guys ready? You want to try it again? I think you might be able to do it a few more times just so you can get the gist of it. Okay, here we go again. Walk in wisdom towards outsiders, making the best use of this time. Colossians 4 verse 5. Okay, one more time. I think you guys have got it. Let's just make sure we do the whole eye of the tiger thing, bounce around, loosen up the muscles. Okay, you guys ready? This is it. This is the one. Okay, I believe in you guys. Ready? Here we go. Walk in wisdom towards outsiders, making the best use of this time. Colossians 4 verse 5. Well done.
Okay, are you guys ready for something fun and really cool that's gonna blow your mind with just a piece of paper? Okay, so that's all you need for today's object lesson is a piece of paper. If you have one close by, you can grab it right now and do it with me, because this is gonna be mind-blowing and life-changing. So today I'm gonna show you how to make the ultimate paper plane. Now I know some of you out there think you are the best at making paper planes, and you might be one of the best, but this paper plane is next level, so watch. You're going to take a piece of paper, a normal A4 sheet. I've used red because, well, why not? It's cool. You're going to take the one corner, slightly different. You're going to fold it all the way down to that side. Got that? Okay. Slightly different to your average paper plane, but this one's magical. Okay. Then you're going to take this side and just take it down to the other corner. Okay, so basically what you're going to have here is kind of like a little house shape, okay? Got this? Okay, you there? Awesome. Then like normal paper plane, all you're gonna do is you are gonna fold this in half, okay? So where this flap is, fold it in half to make, obviously now we're making our plane properly, okay? We've got this, and then like usual, you would fold your wings down. So we're gonna take the one side, fold it down, okay? Got that, and the other side, fold it down. Okay, looking good. You guys happy? You got this? Looking good? Okay, this side might have an extra little flap. Don't worry, it's just extra additions to our plane. It's all folded down, and now you have your really cool paper plane. Okay, but now don't try and fly it yet, because this plane is a little bit different to your average plane. So now, I want to think about it. Do you think my plane could fly to heaven? Probably not. I mean, this plane could get as high as the sky. I mean, planes go through the clouds. I mean, you can often see the sun, like when you're in a plane, if you've been on a plane before, which is really cool if you have. And I mean, planes are really cool, and they get quite high, but they can't quite get to heaven. So my goal today is to get to heaven, and this plane has proven to be pretty useless, so I'm gonna actually just chop its wings off, because I don't actually need them anymore, because I mean, clearly they're not doing any good for me. So I'm gonna just cut down this little line here where my wings have been folded, because they're not working for me, so what is the point? And I'm just gonna cut a little bit at the edge there. Okay, got that. And I'm gonna be left with a rocket ship. Yes, this is exciting. Now, I mean, I think in comparison to an airplane, a rocket ship can go way, way higher, but I still don't think it can get me to heaven. You think so? Close, but probably not quite there. You see, there's only one thing, and one thing only, that can take us as far as heaven, and that's Jesus. Pretty cool. So if you open that up, you open your rocket up, you have got a cross, and this represents the fact that the only way to heaven is Jesus. Okay, and the cool thing is that, guys, God has chosen to use us, His church, the body of Christ, to get this message out there to everyone who is lost and does not know Jesus, that He is the way, and that He saves us, and that He is the answer to eternal life, which is pretty exciting. I mean, the fact that God chooses to use us is insane and mind-blowing. And so you guys can try this as many times as you like to remind yourself that the only way we get to heaven is through Jesus. And the even cooler thing is that He chooses to use us to get that same message to other people. Okay, so we're going to look at a story in the Bible that's found in Acts 16, where we see the church, particularly two men in action, living out this thing of being the church, the body of Christ, and living out our memory verse, which is making the best use of our time and using wisdom when it comes to dealing with people who aren't yet followers of Jesus. So let's see what happens today. Meet Paul and Silas. You would have heard us talk a lot about Paul as we've been going through the book of Colossians, and you would have heard how he was thrown in prison for spreading the gospel. Now, our story today begins with Paul and Silas being brutally beaten after spreading the gospel, and then being thrown into prison. They were chained up, making sure they couldn't go anywhere. Well, that's what the rulers thought. Now, Paul and Silas could have chosen to sit in their prison cell, moaning and complaining. Well, they had just been beaten half to death and thrown in prison after all. But instead, at about midnight, they both began to pray and sing songs to God. It was like a party in the prison. I don't think anyone had ever experienced anything like that. With all that singing and praising to God, they literally brought the house down. Suddenly, there was a massive earthquake. All the prison doors flung open, and everyone's chains fell off. Paul and Silas could have easily escaped, but they knew that if they did, the jailer who was guarding their cell would have got into a lot of trouble, and so they stayed put in their cell. Now that's some other kind of wisdom. When the jailer woke up and saw all the prison doors open, he was about to draw his sword and kill himself because he knew the consequences of the prisoners escaping under his watch. But before he could, Paul cried out to them that they were all still there. The jailer was so relieved, and he fell at Paul and Silas's feet. He knew it was only because of God that these men had stayed, and he asked them what he needed to do to be saved. They told him all he had to do was believe in Jesus. And at that, the jailer invited Paul and Silas to his home to spend the night. They spoke to everyone in the house about Jesus, and everyone in the house was saved. The rulers who had put them in prison told them they were free to go. They even came and apologized to Paul and Silas for putting them in prison. With that, Paul and Silas went back home and encouraged everyone there with what had happened. You see, Paul and Silas truly understood what it meant to be the church, the body of Christ, and they did not let any situation get in their way or stop them from sharing the gospel. I mean, they were in prison and people got saved, which is incredible. And we also see their wisdom of dealing with the jailer. They could have ran away and escaped, but they knew the wise thing to do was to stay put where they were in their prison cells. And so we can learn so much from these two men, and we need to ask God how He can use us best at a time like this, and to give us wisdom to know how to deal with people during a time like this.
As we learned today, we are the church. It's not a building or a meeting, it's us, it's me and you. And that's what makes this time during lockdown so exciting. Even though there's so many restrictions, we as a church are not in lockdown. And even though we're not in lockdown and things might have changed a little bit, it's so cool to know that the church can never be locked down or stopped from sharing the gospel. So as we go into the next song of worship, let's trust God to give us creative ways to share the gospel with our friends and family during this time. And let's focus all our attention on Him and really thank Him for all that He's already done in so many people's lives across the world.
Put your light in me for all the world to see. I'm gonna shine, I'm gonna shine, shine bright and free, and everyone will see your love in me. Your love is higher than the heavens, deeper than the sea, wilder than all we could dream. We're shining, we're shining, we're shining your love all around. We're shining, we're shining. We want the world to know that you love them. Put your light in me for all the world to see. I'm gonna shine, I'm gonna shine, shine bright and free, and everyone will see your love in me. Your love is higher than the heavens, deeper than the sea, wilder than all we could dream. We're shining, we're shining, we're shining your love all around. We're shining, we're shining. We want the world to know that you love them. Brighter than the stars in the night sky, we'll shine no matter what comes our way. Brighter than the stars in the night sky, we'll shine as we hold out your word of life. We're shining, we're shining, we're shining your love all around. We're shining, we're shining. We want the world to know that you love them. We're shining, we're shining, we're shining your love all around. We're shining, we're shining. We
Hey guys, so this has been so much fun this morning, and just in ending, I have a few things that I would love for you guys to do in this week. So I'm going to be telling you guys what I want you to practice in this week, that I want you guys to do at home. And the first one is the memory verse. Our memory verse comes from Colossians chapter 4 verses 5, and I want you guys to practice the actions. I want you guys to practice the words. I want you guys to know it off by heart come next week Sunday. The next thing that I want you guys to do, and you guys can have a lot of fun with this, is the object lesson. I want you guys to actually try this at home, where it goes from being a paper plane into a cross, and you can watch Tash and her instructions on how to do this, so that can be lots of fun as well. And all you need is a piece of paper and a pair of scissors, and you can make that happen. The third thing is, in the week, and you can challenge your friends, you can challenge your siblings, you can challenge your parents, is the Sunday Fun Day Challenge, the popping, to see who can do it the loudest. And it goes like, so yeah, if you can practice that and see how loud you can do it in this week, have lots of fun with this, that'll be really awesome. Also, we have absolutely loved seeing the videos that you guys have been sending throughout the weeks, whether it's you guys worshiping, doing the memory verse, doing the Fun Day Challenge, whatever it is. We just continue to want you guys to send those videos through to us so that we can continue showing the rest of the world what you guys are doing. And lastly, before we end off this morning, there's going to be an Uptown at Home discussion slide coming up, and you can discuss the questions with your parent, your older sibling, whoever's looking after you. So I hope that's lots of fun. That's all from us for this week. Thank you.